Real estate agents, have you ever been in that moment where you're just waiting for that one sale to close just so you can make it to the end of the next month or buy that next thing? When you're banking on one family to sell the largest asset they have at the time that they want to sell it, and you're banking on that commission to pay for all of their needs, you're just living in a really dangerous place. And so one of the things that we do inside of the wealth department and inside of our wealth method is we want to make sure that we have money set aside for our basic living expenses at least 1 month ahead, maybe even two. It's like this. If you're playing a game and you're keeping score, right? Let's just use football, for example. Do you want to play with the lead or do you want to play from behind? Most people want to play with the lead. And so what that means in our world as real estate agents and as becoming wealth builders and creating stress-free wealth is we need months ahead to ensure that we have the oxygen, right? We have the bandwidth to not only pay our mortgage, you just take care of basic needs. I just always encourage real estate agents to have 3 to 6 months of expenses simply just to make sure that they can make it from month to month. So to collect 3 to 6 months of expenses and to play with the lead, it takes money, right? It just doesn't happen out of thin air. So this is definitely a season for when you have to get into your business and get into your database and get into your lead generation methods to actually go create a significant income. And real estate agents are great at doing that, having massive months, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 closings a month. The problem is when you do have those high income months and you start to ride that inconsistent income, you're not simply living on a consistent lifestyle. You'll go buy the thing or you'll go book the trip, or maybe even you go back and pay last year's taxes, which none of that is necessarily bad. However, I believe so many people will take it to the extreme and not set enough money up for future months. And so what my recommendation is, live on a certain dollar amount, and then anything above and beyond that, let's go protect the future, right? Stabilize the present to structure the future. Let's stabilize your present and get 1, 2, or 3 months ahead as we have those big months. So when the tide goes out and the income does go down, you're able to still run your household and run your business effectively. When I say play with the lead, what I'm talking about is doing your math and knowing your scoreboard. You see, the real estate agents, I don't believe have an income problem. They have a cash flow problem. And so when we want to play with the lead is let's get 1, 2, 3 months ahead and we start stacking up cash for either current fixed expenses or even variable expenses that might come up, rather than playing from behind, which is, hey, I have to have these closings come in to pay the expenses that happened 30 days ago or 12 months ago. So when I say play with the lead, I'm talking about let's get ahead of the months that we're in today and the closing that we have happening next month. So many times we have these big months and we have all of the right intentions. We know we want to play. We know we want to get out ahead. We know we have things coming up. We know we need to catch up from last year's taxes or fund additional IRAs from previous years, or even get ahead of and fund investing accounts this year. Those intentions are well and good. But when it comes down to the brass tacks, are you actually able to be disciplined long enough so that habit kicks in so that when you do have a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 month and you have 3, 4, 5, 10 closings and whatever that might be, that you are disciplined enough and you created the habit with the right system to set that money aside because you're going to need it. You just don't need it right now. And my encouragement is to, when we set up this banking system and we start adding age to our money, we set the money aside and then we get it out of our line of sight so that we don't go back to our normal tendencies, which is if we have money, we're going to spend it. I would say the number one challenge and the number one mindset that real estate agents have is they try to out earn their spending, and they are unwilling to reduce expenses, look at themselves in the mirror and just cut lifestyle for a season to actually get ahead of the problem they have today. Too many people that I have conversations with are simply, I'm going to go sell another house. I'm going to go attract more agents. I'm going to go raise this and that will fix my problem. And it simply is just not true. You can't out paddle the holes that are in your boat. and you definitely cannot outrun your spending. Adding age to your money is a term that I've heard and I have now adopted that is simply we're earning $1 this month and we're actually spending it later in the month, or we're spending it later in the year. So we're adding age to the dollars that come in. I actually have a principle called the 21st to 20th rule. And the rule of the 21st to the 20th is that any money that actually comes in between the 21st of the current month and the 20th of the next month is the money that you use that month. And so when you get to the time of the place where it's like most of our closings are actually on the back half of the month, we'll actually take that money and we'll apply it to the following month. So we're earning money today and we're using it later down the line of time. The number one tip for any real estate agent who is living check to check, closing to closing, first thing you have to do is you have to lower your monthly expenses to a place where you can make it from month to month, and you have to go to work. You have to double down on your database. You have to triple down on your lead prospecting. The road to success, to creating stress-free wealth, is too long with an inconsistent income or an income that's simply just going to make it from month to month. We have to go run up the scoreboard. This is your time. Reduce expenses, cut lifestyle, and go make more money. And I promise you, you'll be on your way to stress-free wealth.